Hey, everybody. Welcome to tonight's chapter, which is Junior Ambassadors. Tonight's chapter was sort of a screw up. Half the squad didn't show up, and for some reason, my audio was not recorded. So, complete mess, complete mistake on our part, apologizing. And go ahead and bear with us. There's some good nuggets in tonight. It's not a big narrative evening. Mostly you'll be hearing from Torn, Karina, and Grizz. There's some good ideas. But next chapter picks things back up the way that it should be. Again, we apologize and bear with us.
He's just sort of like fiddling about, looking bored, smoking a cigarette, just kind of checking out the surroundings and kind of being mildly irritated. He's in a refrigerated space.
Hey Grizz, am I interrupting?
No. What can I do for you?
Well, I spoke to the higher-ups, and I guess you passed the test. And they wanted to offer you a position on our ship to, keep cooking and helping Dash and maybe help Ibiov if you can convince her.
Well, I'm totally fine with that, but Ibiov, I don't know. She doesn't really seem too fucking interested in me. Love to, but that's more up to her, right?
The orders are from upstairs, so.
Oh, well then damn. 100% yes.
Cool. How much did they say that they would pay him? Oh gosh.
We haven't discussed that.
You're not gonna negotiate. Let me see. Let me look at my character sheet. I want to remember. Yes. See how much money I had. Try to base it off of some kind of. Oh no, I know. I just was trying to it's like dollars, right? Like it's like the same as our dollars. So if it was like $75,000, he would poop his pants. So I know that, where you're from, the money's worth a little bit more, but they're willing to start you at $75,000 a year.
A year.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking done.
Okay, that was easy. Do you not? Okay, great. I'll let them know.
I'm not that picky.
I will let them know.
You saw where you found me, right?
Yeah. You deserve it, Grizz.
I appreciate that.
So
You're a pretty cool kid.
Huh. Thanks. He said I'm a pretty cool kid. She's going to say thank you. Because she's used to Torn being all weird when he's talking about how they're kids, so.
I want a workspace. Like
we're on a ship, so
just a bench. That way, if I need to fix anything, like say Raz's arm or anything like that, I have a space to do it where I'm not in anyone else's way. Just
yeah, it can't be installed physically because she's not gonna mess with Alexei's ship, but we can get a little wheelie bench that maybe we can move.
Just something about waist height where I can work on any kind of malfunctions. you and your friends might have.
Yeah, we could put it somewhere. I mean, we didn't even have a bed for you, so we could put it like in front of the crates, I guess, like over here.
That'll do.
Unless you don't want to live where you work, in which case we could put it like behind the stairs.
Oh, sweetheart, I've always lived where I worked. Everything's fine with that.
Okay. Let's get you a bench.
Damn
Let's
right.
get that man a bench.
Okay. All right. So Torn hears the message. He acknowledges. What? I guess, does he know the call sign of this ship? Oh, I thought that was for us. Okay. No sweat then. So Torn replies, with the confidence of a pilot. And he's just like, message received. We will enter idle shortly. We will prepare to be boarded. Let us know who your liaisons will be, and we will prepare for their arrival post-haste. And then he shuts off the comms, and then he does the shipwide, and he goes, we're about to be boarded by a BMAC vessel. They're looking for contraband. Now, I think, I would hope that we didn't bring anything back from any of our visits that might get us in trouble. But I'd love if everyone would just take the time to think it out and decide whether or not we need to jettison some stuff before we idle. If you have anything you'd like to share with me in private, feel free to come up to the bridge. Otherwise, get to jettisoning. Thank you. And he goes, over. That's
Oh God, Grizz Grizz kind of like sits there and half-ass panics for a second, but then he's like, wait, we're good, yeah, nothing going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Karina's concerned. I mean, she'll walk up to the bridge where Torn is, I guess, and join him. Are you worried?
Torn just kind of looks. He's just like, no, this is standard when shifting space, but I know you kids are full of surprises, so.
You're not wrong.
All right, so Torn gets behind the console and he starts the procedures to put the ship into idle.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, the suits of armor they can just wear, right? Like on their backs, like little backpacks. Don't they convert? So she'll tell everyone to convert their little backpacks. The weapons. I mean, we're not going to dump them.
While you guys are talking to them, I can just go and dump them.
Well, we're not.
Yeah, so Torn, as he's like seeing the consternation build in their faces, he kind of looks at them and he goes, okay, so to be clear, I don't prefer to do this, but there are ways of attaching something to the exterior of the hull that they will not find searchable while they are on board. So if we feel like there's something that we need to hide, let me know, and I will determine how big of a vessel will be required to do that. And then he looks at Ares. He's like, Ares, I think we may need to prepare something to hide some things. No, awesome. Smart bot. So yeah, and so he just kind of tells that to the kids and waits to see how they reply.
The reply is, well, we should probably hide the whole box of crates because it's got a lot of weapons in it. I don't want to lose those before we make our next stop. I'm just having flashbacks to the anteater. No, I know.
Wait.
I mean, that's really just transport, right?
No.
Let me think.
And children on board.
Well, I mean, Karina's actually a flat-out ambassador at this point. Has she gained anything, any intelligence about what kind of vessels are in this area? Yeah. So I think we're going to pull rank on these guys. So
and say we have weapons specifically. Oh my God.
Or y'all could just.
Okay, I have been working a lot. My brain is not firing on all cylinders. Yes, the guns make sense because it's a diplomatic mission. We have to protect the children, obviously.
I mean, like, there's been situations where if you just put like a diplomatic mail sticker on a package, it gets to custom. Just throwing it out there.
Okay. We will try to talk our way. We don't have to saddle all of the guns onto the side of the ship.
Okay, so when the docking procedure happens, is it based off of a shuttle or is it umbilical? Okay. Okay, so I think as the ship is actually approaching for the umbilical procedure, Torn is going to make a request to Ares to make sure that everything in the ship that can be tied down is. Actually, we're in space, so it doesn't really work that way. Yeah. Okay. So let's. It's like Torn makes a comm. He opens a comms link to Ibioff. And he asks her to make sure that the engines are prepped for an FTL maneuver that may come with seconds notice. And then he kind of looks at Karina and he looks at Grizz and he's just like, okay, so I think I think we follow Karina's lead here, and so long as they think that this is a diplomatic mission, I will be support as pilot and bodyguard. Grizz, he kind of like looks him up and down. He goes, I think you're just going to be our placeholder mechanic.
Fair enough, man.
And then he looks at Karina. He's like, how's that sound? Torn is like,
Bobby, if you want to make some cookies, you by all means make some cookies. No? Okay, Grizz is not making.
You doing this right now? Kiss my ass, kid.
I missed what Torn had told Ibioff to do.
Oh, he basically just told her to prep the engine. Basically, he's thinking that if this diplomatic mission doesn't go well, that he's going to jump to FTL, break the umbilical, and take whoever's with him.
You getting ready to dip? Hell
okay, yeah. I'm glad I clarified that.
Oh, she knows. Like, she's smart. We've been playing war games, so yeah. So I mean, I think what Karina would be like, she would know that there's the stated mission and then there's the objective. Like, let's talk about that. And then it's like, so the objective is to make sure that we get to our next planet. But if the stated mission now is we need to be a diplomat and that doesn't work well, we got to have a backup. So she's probably already thinking of step 2 after that.
Well, you're giving Haley a lot of credit, but thank you. Yeah, she's on it. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Read Dimples.
No.
Yeah, so Torn, just being an old salt and a person of the sea, he's got the journal that keeps his dossier, but he's also got the publicly known script logs, and he kind of just he wait. I mean, this is all gonna be digital, right? So how do I transfer this digitally? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So Torn is like he's not intimidated by that, and he just kind of he guys goes, well met. Here you go. Transmitting now. And Torn like he like steps to attention, and he goes, I would like to introduce you to actually what does Karina have a diplomat name?
A diplomat name?
Yeah, like do you have like a is there like a like a I don't know, like a title?
Oh, I think they're just going by like because they're princes and princesses. I think that's what they're just going by.
Okay, cool. So he kind of like
Keep up the guys that this is very related to the royal family of Odessa.
yeah, he steps to and he goes, I would like to introduce you to a member of the royal family, Princess Karina. And he steps aside.
He looks like I was gonna say
He was the opposite of Dimples. Yeah.
yes, but things.
Yeah.
No, he has one on the left side. He's got those crooked dimples. He's got short hair, obviously, because he's in the military. I want to say that he's somehow as large as Torn. At least he seems to be to Karina. He's clean shaven. He doesn't have anything, not regulation. I would say his eyes are like oddly far apart, like almost a little bit unsettling. Who's laughing? A little unsettling. They're really, really, really piercing blue. And maybe he's got like blonde hair, but like black eyebrows. So you're not sure if his hair is dyed or if his eyebrows are dyed. And yeah, he does not have a kind face. And that's it. That's what he looks like.
I like the far apart eyes.
He's like 45. Oh,
shark faced guy with one dimple.
Yeah. She hasn't said anything yet. She'll kind of size him up and wait for him to say something. say it's more of a formal title than anything. Yeah. Then she'll look at Raz. Oh, Raz is there, right? Bobby's not. He doesn't have a smart comment about that. That's fair. Yeah, you don't have princesses and princes on your world? She'll say, wow, you have very strong opinions. I'm sure you would love to hear them sometime. I'll report back.
You're gonna play him out like being the dumbest person.
He almost lost his penis.
Oh my God.
Like that dick, that close to being gone. Like that close. Oh my God. Like, you know what? That should have been it. You should have let him, you know what? Like Roz has a robot arm. Bobby should have a robot penis right now. Well, I mean, if it gets removed, you got to replace it. I'm just throwing it out there. I love that. It's where it's like the jackhammer with the drill. It's trashy, but it's fucking funny. I love sixth grade toilet humor. Paradise PD. Yeah.
Yeah, Brickleberry. I literally just like couldn't do it after one episode.
No, Brickleberry sucked, but Paradise PD, I was like, yeah. And Farzar just kind of reminds me of like Thundercats or something.
Oh. And then Torn just kind of like chimes in. He's like, thanks for the quick sweep. Anything else we should look out for on our journey? Thanks again, Commander Dimple. Dimples or Dimple? Thank you, Major Dimples. We'll run silent as we approach Bacchus space. Thank you.
Oh God. I think that's more up to you two.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to do with like figuring out trade routes and like scheduled deliveries for the next however long far up they have it, type of thing. Stop whining. Stop.
Stop whining.
Stop. She wants to go join the party.
Who doesn't?
She's locked in my bedroom. And there are people out there. Relax.
Cooked.
So wait, so they're refining something different. What did Raz's say that again? What did they refine on his planet? Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about anything regarding what else kind of gas is that? I guess that's fair. Some other gas that they're refining.
And Torn just kind of like looks at the planet idly, and he just like, he keeps. It's interesting that they keep coming across skull vapor, and he just like has an open thought. I wonder how much of that stuff goes into the wait. What is it? What is the surge stuff called? Oh, okay. Never mind.
It should be something like methane that's almost like incredibly combustible, hence the no smoking. Like
Isn't
something like propane, something that'll like blow up if you fucking make a spark.
I mean, it could be helium. Helium's really hard to come by, but that doesn't really blow up. Helium's like one of the hardest things to
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen, yeah. Well, that's
That was the Hindenburg, right?
yeah. Hydrogen is definitely go big, boom.
Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty sure the H bomb did more damage than the A bomb.
What's the difference? Uranium and hydrogen atoms?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, when you were off, I said something to the effect of like trying to get the trade routes, which I feel like I stand by now, knowing that it is something that's used. Like it can be used more generally, but can also actively be used to make weapons. So I think probably to see kind of like volume of output, how often they're shipping, where they're shipping to. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, just like kind of wanting to track like what planets are receiving, how much each planet is getting, so that maybe someone could gauge like if someone who knew what they were looking at could look at the amounts and say, okay, well, this planet clearly isn't using a huge amount, like, but this other planet is using so much. Like, what are they doing? Type of thing. Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. Hmm. How did they do it? I would say sorry. I guess it's another just like it's super similar to oh god. I love Reed Dimples. He looks so bad.
Oh, I gotta see. Yeah, that does look like the kind of guy who would be all like terse.
I think it's just gonna have to be another sneaking in mission, like using their. It's gonna be again similar to what they did at the birthday party, because they're trying to get in and get like data specifically. So it's gonna have to be getting into one of like the hub of one of the factories, because like what even type of place would have like a like would it even be secure or smart to keep all that information in one spot? But like a log, I guess regular people could have access to log, not regular, but like average Joes. Yeah. Yeah, it couldn't be just like this A factory's log and B factory's log. It needs to be all of it. So yeah, like a headquarters, like kind of office-y type building. And children sneaking in is never going to be normal, so it's going to have to be a wait till nightfall, climb up the windows, sneak in, you know, cut a hole in the window. She would have to bring Roz because Roz is the person who gets into the computers more often. Because he's the one who did it on their. I think his ComTech is higher than mine, and he did it on theirs. Like he's kind of been hacking things. So she would bring Roz and Bobby. I hate to say it, but I feel like it would need a distraction, maybe like a lookout. But he's definitely not as essential. I don't even know if he would want to go anyways because he's doing medic stuff.
Yeah, Torn is immediately taken by the efficiency of the android like slave labor army sort of thing. And while he's there and they're on their mission, does he ever know the details of their secret mission? Okay, so Torn kind of like leaves them to their thing, and he tries to find the nearest watering hole to sort of like rub elbows with some of the pilots. Afterburner. Yeah. Let's do that. Grizz and I haven't had a bonding moment in a while.
Inside, I'd probably picture looking kind of like a TGI Fridays, but with old airplane parts, like antique airplane parts, because I think that shit's kitschy and cute. Like propellers, rusted ass bullshit like that. No one uses anymore.
Cool. I think just knowing where this place is and how the working class tends to have like a little bit more run down aesthetic. I'm picturing this bar being in a part of the city that looks like it's just outside of the main thoroughfare. It's pretty well lit, but it's also a little bit seedy. Like you get the impression that a lot of mainstay patrons don't go there. It's kind of like, actually just picture the Taxi Driver. Like picture a Taxi Driver's restaurant where they all meet up. Except with the TGI Friday kitsch stuff in it. And then as we come in, I kind of take a look around. I'm like, oh wow, some of these guys have been working for a while. You can tell, and he kind of just like points at some of the pilots, and you can see that they're all wearing these like still suit type things, which kind of like fit all over their whole bodies. And maybe there's some sort of inlay that you can tell that's deactivated to show that they're just like taxi drivers. They're like off right now. And he just kind of looks at Torn, looks at Grizz, and he's just kind of like, yeah, all right, let's grab a drink. So Torn kind of like sidles up to the bar, knowing that he's probably already drawing attention with Grizz. And he just kind of looks at Grizz and he's like, "What do you have?"
Just give me a bourbon. I'll watch your back.
And then Torn's like, "It's a big one, thank you." And then Torn just kind of like rests on the bar with his elbows to try and sort of show his relaxed state. And he kind of like looks around. What he's trying to do is rub elbows with some of the pilots to understand first how they become like a pilot of an automaton like that, and just shoot the shit with the boys. Yeah. Oh no, I in my head I was calling the robot pilots. Like, do you have a different name for them? Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense because Torn is a pilot, but he's actually curious about how they do this automaton stuff with or I guess, yeah, I don't know, AI controlled slave labor, because that's very unique, and it probably requires a level of integration that he doesn't know how to do. Okay. Oh, so maybe he goes to a pilot bar and he's like looking for one. Oh, so that's what he does. He's leaning on the table and he's like looking around because he's trying to identify if any of these people in the bar are one of the android pilots. I mean, it's in the recording at least, so you can just always retcon. I mean, go back and write it in that way. Um, Damn!
Sure.
I said, "Goddamn!" We're gonna take one bourbon, neat. He kind of he points at Grizz, and he points at him. He's like, "Yeah,"
Yeah.
and I'll have. Hmm, What's your strongest cocktail? Oh, hey, I can't hear you.
You sure about that big guy?
Yeah, and he just kind of nods like excitedly. He's like, "We're here for a little while, may as well." And he grabs and he says, "Give me one cosmic mindfucker." Starts off. Oh, so it like transforms as you drink it. Yeah.
It starts that way, and then the guy takes like a couple of weird, like creepy things that look like they're like off of bugs and puts in it. And then he sprinkles a little powder on top of it, and there's like a and then the drink like settles and looks normal.
Sick.
And Grizz just looks at Torn, he's like, "You still sure about that?"
He's like, "I've never been more sure of anything in my life, Grizz."
Go for it, man.
So he picks it up and he just kind of like looks at it for a second and he's just like, "Oh, why is it so big?" And then he takes like one little sip. What happens to him, Drew? Ooh. Oh no.
Hey, you doing all right?
Oh, and Torn suddenly he like the sinking feeling kind of has him like looking around, almost a little bit paranoid as he's like looking around the bar, and he kind of looks at Grizz. He's like, "Hey, you have my back, right?"
Oh no, yeah, I got your back. I just really wish you wouldn't have drank that.
And like Torn kind of like sets the drink down, and he goes, "I think you may be right. Is it? Is there anyone watching us?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're making stuff right now? Oh, sick. All right, cool. I'm gonna pee real quick. I'll be a beat. Oh, dude, I think we're creating a new level of role playing.
Like the art, like shit, dude, crazy. Oh yeah. Like I can't like it reminds me so much of like. Do you remember like Hyperion and Endymion, like those novels, like the cover art? It reminds me a lot of that. Like not a lot of people have read those either. Like it's I got mine at a bookstore in Hawaii. It was like a used junk bookstore, and I'm like, this looks weird as balls. I'm gonna read it.
And we're back.
Oh, nice.
Oh, hell yeah. It's like Blade Runner-y and Speakeasy-y. Oh. Damn, Grizz.
It's super futuristic, but it also looks like it kind of smells like pee. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great, man. Awesome. God, this is such a profound program. Good Lord. Like, do concept artists even exist anymore? Like, and you know what's weird? I don't know if you looked at what Midjourney was in its beta in its alpha stages, but how long it took to get to this stage. But it's like I always thought that we would always be able to beat the machines at art. and clearly that is no longer the case.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like fucking with biology with my college degree. I'm just like, that's the only thing you can't replace with machines. Well, I mean, yeah, but you're not taking into account the genetic anomalies, the weirdness, like, fair point. Like a perfect medical system. Well, I mean, the way it's realistically going to work, and depending on who you're talking to, this isn't necessarily a popular opinion, but we're all going to strongly resemble what most people would consider mixed race. Like in about like 300 years, we're all going to be brown skinned, weird colored eyes. Like we're not going to look anything like we look now. Like how people in the 20s used to have fat round faces. Just not as accelerated.
Wait, what are we talking? We're arguing what now?
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's literally the basis of all my characters. I try like I was pretty inspired by the Expanse, the descriptions of the Belters, not really what they did in the show, but just the idea of that. And then, but the whole point was they thought about the evolution of man in different places. So here in the Alien universe, granted, when you watch where it started, it was like alien and aliens. It's all just like really macho white people with the occasional like a Hispanic person, right? But outside of that, it's like, wait, that's not really like a future projection of what space would be like, right? All these weird cultures are going to go somewhere, and we think of how the Expanse, the people on Mars, they all have like a weird Southern accent because they came from a different place, but they landed there, and it's like that culture, evolved over time to become this own like Mars Southern. It's like that kind of thing. Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's kind of like this in a way, like on a long enough timeline, everybody
is brown.
Yeah, like
yeah, it's a good point.
like by the time it's all said and done, we'll all have had sex with each other in different ways or whatever, and we're all going to look the same eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, because when you look at indigenous
we've
cultures,
accelerated the timeline on so many things. Like global warming, evolution, we've accelerated that. Like we stomped on the fucking gas.
But wait, so Grizz, Aaron, to that point, like what you're saying is that we're actually going to kill humanity before we can get to space.
Yes. Yes. In theory, yes.
And yeah, we're only 300 years hence. was 24.
Well, that was my estimation. Is 300.
Oh no, he has the space log though.
Yeah.
What's the log say? What's the latest star date? Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh yeah.
So I checked in at the wrong interval.
Oh, yeah. We're just bullshitting about science.
Yeah. And then Torn kind of like he like lunges and uncharacteristically fast for his size. He's like, yeah, hey there. And he's like trying to compose himself and get his words together. We're actually hauling diplomats, and he kind of chuckles. And then he like goes, whoa, not slave trade, not slave trade. God damn it.
Grizz is like, look, man, we're just passing through.
No, sir. We are not cannibals. Why does this keep coming up? I don't understand.
Fuck it.
Here we go. Let me think.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at your name.
He'd be friends with Samuel Paperweight, I think.
Jeremiah Beanbag? All right. Torn extends his... and he kind of like Torn chuckles too, like good humorly, and he's like, "Have you ever had one of these? What was it? Cosmic mindfuck?" He's like, "How long does it take for the effects to wear off?" And Torn just kind of like shrugs, and then he's like, "Fine," and then he like takes another sip.
Grizz just looks at him and he's like, he puts his arm around. He's like, "You'll be fine, man. I'm not gonna let these people fuck with you. I got it."
And then he kind of like looks at Grizz all like sloppy eyed already, and he's like, "Oh god!" and then he looks back to what was his name? He looks back to Mr. Beanbag and he goes, "Yeah, I've definitely had my share of I don't know. I guess you call them persons of interest missions, but." What brought you this far out? Did you go to academy or did you serve? in like a several year span kind of thing. Torn kind of slaps him on the back happily. He's just like, "Wow, it's amazing that you're able to have your own ship. Does it go FTL?" He's like, "Yeah," and Torn just kind of nods like sagely. He's just like, "Excellent. What can I get you?" Torn looks around. And he's just like, "I think you think I have a corporate pension, sir. I do not."
Grizz kind of leans in. He's like, "You sure about this, man?"
To me,
Yeah.
Yeah, like Torn kind of looks at him. He's just like, let's see where this goes. It's always good to blow off some steam.
All right, you're the boss.
And then he kind of like looks at Grizz, like taking the note that he kind of probably went out of his way to say that to him. He's like, what are your concerns? But like not like it's a loud bar, right? So he's like not really like. Okay, well then I'm definitely not going to ask Grizz that. Yeah, so I can get you one, but the rest of the bar is on their own. And then Torn just kind of looks at the bartender who's like eagerly watching their weird, awkward conversation. He's just like, one of those, please. Yeah, and like Torrance kind of like looking at him a little bit glassy eyed, but he's like stable on his feet. It looks like the second phase of the drink is slurred speech, but he's lost the paranoia. Oh, fair enough. I'm Commander Laurel Torn, and this is.
I didn't give mine.
Yeah, something like that. Although I am not quite doing what I used to do. And then Torn like kind of like thinks to himself, he's like kind of losing his like I guess military patina because he's been with the kids long enough, and he actually kind of just realized that as he's talking to this guy that he's feeling less and less part of the cloth, so to speak. Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah, fair enough. He just kind of like he's like kind of in his head right now, just remembering some things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly what I'm playing off of right now. Yeah, so he's like thinking back. He's like, yeah, safe. And he's like, what he's doing is he's like, it's better not to mess with their perceptions than to tell them what's up. So he just kind of nods that way. But yeah, we got into this area not too long ago. We're only here for a little while, and then we're off. How long you been hauling over here? Yeah. Huh. They're tighter than you saw, huh? And then Torn kind of chuckles because he's like, yeah, that's probably true. Well, cool. So he kind of looks around the bar. Does he see any of the automaton pilots or the android pilots? Does that person show up? Lodestar Incorporated. Cool. So as that guy enters, Torn kind of his eyes like kind of caught, and he kind of like looks over to shit. I forget this guy's name every time. Beanbag. All right, so I'm gonna go. So he kind of looks at Mr. Beanbag, and he sees this guy walk in, and he just kind of looks at him. He's just like, is that one of those android pilots? What do you call those? And then, I mean, maybe it's like Harvester or something, or. Oh, wow. I totally missed that then. I would have remembered if it was like, I guess I just spaced on that. It's cool. I mean, we could just retcon it, but in the meantime, I'll be like, is that one of those guys? Yeah, I mean, he's in a pilot bar, right? So, I mean, do y'all consider him pilot or? Hmm. 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 And Jordan just kind of like looks inwardly. He's like, because in his head, he kind of thought that they would be closer to his discipline than they are. And he kind of acknowledges that he kind of made a mistake. He's like, fair enough, fair enough. You know, at the end of the day, I'd rather be out there in the void rather than stuck planet side. Where do you hail from? Yeah, and Torn kind of like chuckles and he like raises his glass because he's like, I prefer weightlessness too, as he pats one side of his big belly and cheerses everyone.
Rose just kind of like ignores everybody and just like sips his drink.
And I think that's it. That's all I wanted out of this. It was mostly just trying to get some background on what these people are, but also I always take the story where it leads me. So I think the fact that Torn identified this guy actually isn't a pilot, he lost interest. Yeah, I mean, I guess in the way I pictured it is a little bit like it's like you're sitting in a pilot chair and you're autonomously, I mean, you're remotely manipulating something, but also just the way you described the cage in the android, he kind of has like a pang of like feeling for Ares, and he's like, I'm not sure how I feel about doing that to something. It's kind of weird. It surprises him, but in a way, it's about the fact that he likes. You remember how when he first got to the ship and he was like, he felt more bonded with Ares than he did with the kids. Yeah, it's that. It's like he kind of sees that manipulating even artificial intelligence may not sit well with him, so he wants nothing to do with them now. Yep. The uprising. Yeah, that's a great context. Yeah, I did. I mean, in a way, I kind of naturally kind of leaned into that without knowing it. But no, that's cool because even when he showed up, he's just like, from his own background, and you saw, it's like, wow, this amazing thing is so capable. But Odessa, it's not a true AI, but it's something that he's an affinity for. So cool. Okay. Oh, that's good to know and brutal. But yeah, I think that's that. I was just going to riff on that for a little while. So that's kind of all I had planned. So maybe I look at Grizz and realize he's not interested in this, and he's like, hey, maybe let's go tamp down this alcohol with some food. And then he kind of like nods to Mr. Beanbag and says, well, brother, we're I think we're going to be taking our leave now. I appreciate all the chat, and make sure to tip your bartender. I yeah, I guess we'll be seeing you, huh? And then he kind of like nods and like bumbles off. And then Torn just kind of like he gives like an old standard like spacer salute, and he just goes, Godspeed.
No, Grizz is watching Torn's back, and when he's leaving, he mumbles under his breath, "Go fuck yourself." Yeah. He doesn't like androids. Still.
He's just a pilot guy.
He missed it. It's cool. Yeah, the wires got crossed. But yeah, Grizz, if you hate androids, you wouldn't have a problem with him.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah, and I liked his face too. He was actually.
I thought he was like one of those robot thingies. The
No,
pictures you kept posting confused me. My bad.
Oh yeah, he posted that trying to explain something he explained earlier.
Then I say nothing.
All right, cool. All right, so Grizz and I head off to find dinner, and then like as we hit the streets again, like Torrance just kind of like looks left and right, and he like heads towards the most lighted district, and he thinks to himself, "I wonder what the kids are getting up to."
For like while they're like after the mission.
And conceptually, does Haley know what the mission is, or do you just like reveal that after it's done? A secret mission. Okay, so she doesn't.
I'm fairly positive I'm clueless, correct?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was like that. Got it.
Yeah, no, I just had to come up with something. I hope that was adequate. I feel like it was adequate. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that was the thing that like I was thinking about scarcity because I didn't realize helium was such a finite resource. Like we are literally just like flat out dystopic sci-fi future, just stripping the Earth of all of its potential, right? So, but yeah, that's a good point because I think one of the key things that like a lot of people talk about from the bio perspective in the alien universe is that you can't create mass out of nothing, and so when these when Prometheus happened, it ignored all those rules because that little creature turns into something that's like 5 times its own size, right? And it's from like a biomass of like nothing. And it's like well, what's funny is the original Alien actually kept to that. And so what I'm getting at is just like there's all this stuff that we could be thinking about that could like limit us and create better opportunities for a more interesting story. But yeah, now we're there. Anyway, that's my rant about resources. Well, yeah, I mean that's what the Codex was in Mass Effect, right? Like it's like all the diehard fans in Mass Effect were there for the surface story, and then between missions, they reading the Codex to learn all those details about how this world is as rich as it is. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, you've already created a story that's as big, so it's
Well, I mean, when you look at the bombs too, just like the A bomb versus the H bomb, they didn't use the H bomb. That it wasn't popular, but it's because the damage, the blast radius was just catastrophic.
yeah. Yeah, maybe there's some awesome stuff in the lore here where there is literally no lit light on the entire planet. Like we can start building in that kind of thing where it's like flames are illegal. So maybe as like we're walking back to the sign of I'm walking back to the city, I'm like starting to notice that there's all this signage. It's like, it says stupid like little silly adages like if you spark a flame, I don't know. I'll think of something. But yeah. Yeah, if you spark a flame, you're fucking lame, like shit like that. Yeah, yeah. And so,
But I
yeah.
mean, like with the
Oh, smoky.
atmospheric conditions, with the hydrogen thing, like you're literally talking about like if someone even did something as minuscule as scrape a knife against pavement and it created a spark, you're talking about like a Death Star Halo explosion.
You know what? Then
It's like
maybe,
everything rubber.
no, but maybe there's something to that too, where it's about the materials. But maybe they found a way to terraform the base layer of the planet so that everything up to a certain height is a neutral gas zone, so that nothing could spark even if you tried to. Yeah.
Oh my god! I even think
There we go. That's lore, baby.
like static cell phones, like all of that would be completely outlawed. Like you couldn't have anything that created an electrical current. I mean,
Yeah, I bet you they'd have like shortwave radio stuff that's like,
yeah, right. That makes sense. Yeah. Because I was thinking that I'm like, there's so much shit that'll set off hydrogen. Like it's, oof.
yeah, and there's a reason they don't like using in balloons, obviously. But I just watched that David Blaine thing where he like stupidly uses a bunch of balloons to go into the sky, and hydrogen was the number one thing to avoid.
Oh my god, he still does stuff. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he had like this whole special, and honestly, I was like, good God, dude, like you should have stayed gone.
But you watched it. Thank you.
Dude, the way he talks makes me just want to fucking kill people. I don't understand what that is. Like, I don't want to kill him. I just want to start killing everyone in the room. It's almost like he's a Manchurian candidate for me. It isn't. It's just fucking feats. And the thing is, there's some manipulation. Who cares? Let's not talk about
It's not magic. He's like, I'm going to torture myself for 3 weeks. Watch.
Yeah, basically that's it. And then, yeah, I can't. I'm almost going to go on like a fucking hate speed rant. Anyway, so Karina.
Sorry, I'm wrestling with Glenn because there's a million people. Shh, stop. Stop. Someone just rang the doorbell. Stop. At this planet, she would. I mean, something that she hasn't really done. Stop. Sorry. Something that she hasn't really done at all would be like touring like schools. So I was thinking maybe this would be a good one if they are in the bubbles and there's like whole little communities, because the last one was kind of a wasteland. But she is interested. She's interested because I feel like last session something came up where she kind of realized that people were like not all just like war oriented. She had a conversation with someone where it was like, oh, not everyone is like constantly thinking about politics and war and how to fuck each other over. So she would be interested in learning about like public quote unquote education and what these kids are like learning in schools. And I guess she would do it under the guise of just like a diplomatic like peace offering type thing of like, yes, she'll take an orchid, especially because I'm assuming that within the bubbles there's not much plant life, but these things are grown in those like boxes that she has, so she knows if she gives that one like it doesn't need light, or you know, they're like engineered to just survive in those little boxes, so it would be successful there. Oh, see, I thought it was like a light box because they only bloom. Okay, well, she can still give them a box of flowers. It's like a science project. Yeah. Maybe somehow, you know, maybe the atmosphere changes it. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, she wants it as like an outreach, like a good faith. Yeah, I know. The kids can decide what they want to do. I guess kids aren't running around outside the bubbles, probably. Yeah, I think that will kind of. She's gonna sit with it because she is already witnessing how people in power are twisting real events to make certain things look like they happen a certain way. So she's not like naive to that. So she doesn't get like defensive. I guess it's just not surprising to her that that is how it is. And she appreciates that up to this point, generally people have been polite to her, especially given that they're being taught that these, you know, her people are basically terrorists. So, but yeah, I think if they'll let her, she'll probably take one of the textbooks with her so that she can study it more and like she's been doing, she knows it. I mean, if she's been doing war games with Torn, like she's aware, she knows like what people do to get away with things. So, but she's interested. She's interested in the different perspectives. So then once she's done with the school, yeah, I think she'll probably just, yeah.
All right.
Aaron's gonna walk his gremlin.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, goodness. Is it just me? Oh, man. I'm trying not to die on you guys. I had to do an energy shot. See, I wish I could do that, but like I know it's better for you and all that stuff, but like for some reason, like it has to taste like something for me to even fucking enjoy it, which makes no sense because you have to drink water. Right? Damn. I just totally missed that. I thought we were talking to her because I got confused because of the pictures popping up. I was like, wait a minute. My bad. Oh my god, dude. Like seriously, and Brian can kiss my ass because I'm fucking exhausted and I have a leg wound that's infected and I'm still doing this. He can suck a fart. The cookies thing was brilliant though. You're probably fucking right. Ugh. I don't get that either. Like, cause I've just on record, I have never been a fan of Bobby as a character. Yeah, yes and no. It's what bugs me is like he just finally got to the point where he was kind of like, yeah, okay, I like this character, and now he's like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. You know. Uh, so basically, he'll exist in this sort of like Nick Fury esque capacity. Oh, yeah, yeah. That ugh. Like everything would have been so much easier if he just would have been like oh, I don't want to do this anymore. And
Hello, I am back.
it's like stupid ass Leroy Jenkins moment.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's a little too high, and then he you know how he gets where he's like, wait, so what's going on right now? And he does that pretty much every session.
Like he took what could have been an amazing moment and just whipped his tiny little dick out and pissed all over it.
Yes, Daddy is home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Torn. He's been in 0G before, so he probably he takes the opportunity to play the we never came up with a fucking name for that game. I can come up with a name for everything, but not this goddamn game. It was like lights. With Training Complex. All right, so like we had the Training Complex 1, which was with Gravity, and then Torn takes the opportunity to instill Training Complex 2 or 0G, and then he uses it as a way to get everyone familiar with scooting around, because actually I'm not sure any of the kids have been to 0G, huh? Okay, so he kind of like uses that as an opportunity to like, you know, get them familiar, get them like zipping around. But yeah, he's an old salt at this, so it's kind of fun too because he gets to show off how fast he can move in 0G, even though he's huge.
Grizz is just he realizes how important his muscles are to his like whole mechanic profession. So he kind of tries to do the best he can to exercise in zero gravity, like pushing off of walls with his legs and pushing off of them with his arms. All right.
It's in his room, anyways. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's basically
can't escape
his
it.
backyard. Yeah, that's basically it, and it's like I mean the inspiration for it was Ender's Game.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think this is probably a good opportunity to split the kids up and get them out of their heads a little bit. But in a way, Torn kind of like encourages that because he'd like to see how Karina does with adults.
I want to team up with Laszlo.
So who all's on the ship now? Like, so we have Bobby, Roz, everyone's on the ship. Oh my god, damn, we got a fucking crew, bro. Yeah, so I say we probably pick teams to have like a what do you call that? A classic, like like a tournament style thing. And maybe it starts off with people in like twos or threes, and then it gets down to one big team once the other teams are eliminated and assimilated. And yeah, I think the assimilation should probably basically be Karina in charge of one team, me in charge of another team, and then I'll defer to Haley for whoever she wants on her team.
Okay, well, Dash is on my team because she beat your record last time. I don't know if you were here for that.
Oh, okay.
And
She beat whose record? Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
Danielle,
she worked
good
real
shit.
hard. So I'll have Dash. Do you want to do like a schoolyard?
Yeah, that's basically what we're doing right now. Schoolyard picks. So you took Dash. I took Roz.
Are the animals playing?
Yep.
Take Laszlo.
I'll take Catch.
I'll take Grizz.
Yep, I'll take Bobby. That's it, right? It'd be odds on playing. Or is she? Maybe we make her referee since it's an odd man out situation. Absolutely, Karina wins. It's really just applied war games, but also it means that she's got a really strong grasp of 3D space. And what's really nice about this is irregardless of the mission, I use that word even though it doesn't exist.
I just rolled my eyes. I rolled my eyes.
I know it's
straight up roll my eyes, and then you acknowledged.
No,
it.
I know. I fucking hate that word. I actually just use it to troll people now because it's actually in the dictionary to mean exactly what it shouldn't fucking mean. They add it. Because language is supposed to be.
Because people use it. Yeah, it's fluid.
Yeah.
It's
so anyway, that word exists now, unfortunately. But so regardless of. Oh, we don't need a language for this. I was just. Yeah. So, what I think, all I was going to say is that he's been sending Vasily these awesome updates on the dossier because the dossier is essentially like linked to, the Odessan intranet or whatever. And so he's like sending his little updates. And the update he's most proud of recently is that she whooped his ass in this training complex too.
Oh.
Hey, can you remind me real quick of what
So
Ibiov did with that? What she? There was a controller. Was that for the gravity? Okay, so she basically just like pre-ordered that by the time we got to the planet. Okay. I think Torn in this situation actually doesn't want to get off the ship much. He's starting to have a little bit of flashbacks to some of his previous deployments, and he doesn't like the smell of sulfur. So like his I think singular engagement is going to be to chat with Ibiov and kind of get into her head a little bit, to see if maybe she has some secret shit that he may not know about, and try to find out how she ended up in the employ of Vasily.
yeah, so the secret mission is going to be that Nero gave them the names of some people who were part of the Utah colonies that remain loyal on the ground, and it's to get them some of the caches of the weapons.
Oh,
We're doing guerrilla warfare. I was like, separatists. The second you said that. So, yes, we want them outfitted with. Oh, go ahead. We just want them outfitted with a bunch of shit, and also maybe things that would be helpful in case there ever needed to be some kind of distraction via maybe a prison escape. Yeah. Okay. So the first guy is obviously going to be 70, and his name is Pat. Surnames are really hard. I just borrowed one. Pat Ricks. Ricks. He looks like the toy maker from Toy Story 2. Do you know what I'm talking about? He's got glasses and big ears, and he's bald except for like little tufts of hair on the back of his head, and he's super thin. And looking at him, you would straight up think that like a small breeze could knock him over. But that is very deceiving. He's just old, because back in his heyday, I would say he was kind of like an explosives guy. Maybe if they're refining shit here, or sorry, what are they? They're heavy metals. Yeah, so he's definitely like breaking stuff down, melting stuff, like big straight up just blacksmith. But since he's been retired, maybe he's a little bit ill, but because he's been involved so long, he's like top guy to see. So that's Pat Ricks, PR. And oh my God, his name is Patrick. My friend.
Patrick.
I didn't mean to. I just said Pat. No, it's PAT space RICKS. Because I borrowed my friend's last name and I didn't realize. Pat R. Ricks. I don't know. That was not intentional. That was some subconscious stuff. I apologize. And then, so yeah, he's like he's had a hard life. He was used to be, maybe his skin is really saggy and that's why he looks so thin. Like he just lost all of his muscle tone, but he's spicy. And then there's, and now I'm going to be like having this second guess every name. This is why when you name children, you have to check both first and last names. Dude, I mean, Clementine Klein, I did not realize rhymed until someone pointed it out to me, and I was very embarrassed.
Clementine Klein rhymes.
Yep, yep, that's a triple. Yes, that's my dog. And then the next person is Lex Salt. That's not a word. Lex Salt. And she is like 50. And she is like very small, short. She has very long gray hair. And she has a scar, like she's missing an eye. She's like a scar across her face. So just like typical villain vibes. And she is the like intel person. So she's constantly looking out, making sure that nobody is like onto the group, keeping her eye out for like the children of people who are on the USAW side to see if any kids are like, anyone is keeping up with the cause, but like in a subtle way, and because they can't be exposed. And so she's just kind of like the background, like trying to find out information and trying to flip people, but only if she has enough information to know that like it would be successful. Because we definitely don't want PMAC knowing that there's this little sect of people. And then the third person is stop my foot. Coco Martin. And Coco Martin is a God, how do you do 3 people back to back?
Can you do what?
3 people back to back. I'm like, they all have to be different.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
So Coco Martin. Is that a name? Because it feels like a name. I hope not. It sounds like a person. I feel like I'm stealing from real life.
They sound like they're like a burlesque club or something. Like
It's kind of. They might be code names. They might be code names.
They better be.
Because why would they tell Karina their real names? And why would Nero broadcast their real names across space? Thank you. I just got an out. So Coco Martin. Yes. I mean, it's no bland lately, obviously. So Coco Martin is like 50s. He's like an average height. he's probably the calm guy. He's probably the one who's like feeding intel back to Nero. Like he's good at it. He's sneaky. He doesn't ever get caught. Like he's used to like staying low to the ground, but he is definitely like a double agent. Like people think that he is fully like democratic person that they've ever fucking met.
Haley, can you hear me?
Oh yes, I can hear you. Did I lose you? So he's average height. He has very long hair, but like a super deep widow's peak. And he is the calm guy who's like sending information and intel like back to Nero. But he's also straight up like excellent at being like flying under the radar because he's just like Mr. Captain America patriotic to the PMAC. So like if he were to be found out, it would be like a gigantic scandal. Because people like in the circles just know him as like I live and breathe PMAC. That's Coco Martin.
He kind of thinks it's pretty wild and just unique to a lot of things he's experienced in the sense that it's kind of kitschy, like almost like a theme park. And while they're off doing their own thing, he just sort of attempts to stay out of trouble, tries to find good food. Um, I want him to run into one of his ex-girlfriends. They're just kind of in like a public, I guess park, if you could call it that, with all the projections and whatnot. Oh, he's just kind of like just taking everything in, looking at like, the fake ducks, I guess, in the pond, all that kind of stuff.
And they have very twisty dicks.
Oh, shit. Okay. Her name. Oh, let's see. I gotta think of a good one. Hmm. Hmm. Adrian McMichelson sounds like a porn star. Just like your stereotypical the Hooters waitress type, like huge boobs, ridiculous bleach blonde hair, short, which is annoying because I'm 6'2". But I'm here for work. What are you doing here? I didn't even know you were here. What? Oh, well, fuck me. I'm sorry.
I'm so triggered right now. That's perfect. I'm like, damn it, he's been through this.
Because you never used to shut up. All you did was just blah, blah, blah. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, no. No. She's fucking lying, and I just start to run.
I think there's a wrinkle I'd like to introduce. Because what basically Karina is, selling these goods to these new people, and so how would Karina get these goods to them?
Oh.
Because it's like an explosive expert. You're basically taking from our infinite stockpile storage container, right?
I feel like I'm going to be made to do this.
Well, I was thinking that, but then I was like, well, they can't know what we're like. You guys don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the wrinkle I want to play with. So how would she get that stuff off the ship? Is she trying to hide that from Torn? Is she doing it openly and overtly, or? Yeah. So that's a story question. It's not a Torn question, but whatever you do based off of that, I'll have a reaction to.
Yeah, for sure. Right. And it's just that Nero is, I'm assuming, keeping up types of networks all over the place because he's he is Odessa and he's doing Odessa shit, but he's also he knows what Vasili's plan is, so he knows to use the you saw royalty. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so I guess now the start is whether or not Torn is in on it or not, and if he's in on it, then there's really nothing to play off of. But
well, yeah, I think she's gonna have to approach him about it. I mean, I know he said that he wanted to stay on the ship, so I'm wondering if maybe it's something that
okay, yeah, when you come back after the mission to be like, hey, so.
Well, because I guess we're going. So I'm sure I would be doing also. She would be doing diplomat stuff. So yeah, she can do her diplomat stuff. I could probably be close to the end of the week, and if she's feeling there's no really way that I think she can do this without him.
Yeah, I think it could probably just be something as she comes back from her diplomatic travels, she approaches him and hey, so I think we're gonna leave some of these weapons behind, and then Torrent's like, huh?
Yeah, and she'll play the message. I think is the easiest way to do it, just so that Torn knows this is not something that she's just casually asking him to do.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't even think we need to roll that then. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't, or we do?
I mean, I don't think we do. I think the beats are all there. So
yeah, I think she wants to keep it on the DL that like she's not going to try to expose that they've been doing secret missions every single time, but it's kind of a, hey, we have this thing that we have to do while we're here, and we need your help. And I'm sure Torn would always drop everything he was doing, even if he's having some flashbacks and he doesn't want to leave the ship. She'll just ask him to leave once, and then he can come back and relax and have the whole week off.
The whole week off, sitting around talking Eviov. Whole week off talking Eviov.
Well, I do think that it probably would be better. See, now I'm changing the whole goddamn thing, but I do think. Yeah, because I feel like I was thinking, like, it's probably not. It's definitely not a good look for any kind of potential implication for her. But Torn is just kind of, he decided not to go down there, so it's not like anyone has seen him, like, around. He's going to just go in and out. And so, yeah, I do actually think that Karina, I think she would go onto the, like, space station to, like, be on the ground, but she's going to ask him to do the drops.
Yeah, I think there's probably a good place to like pick up the scenario, and that would be like in the cargo bay. Let's say you come back on an early day or a late day, and maybe you're like taking inventory or something, and Torn notices you, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so Torn kind of looks at it, and he's not otherwise surprised or scared or freaked out or anything, but he's kind of just like curious. So he like walks to the threshold, and what does he see?
So Karina's in there, and she's kind of cross-referencing the list that Nero gave her with what's in the inventory. Yep, that is Patrick's. Yep. So she's cross-referencing the list, but Torn can definitely tell that like she doesn't exactly know what she's looking at.
Good in.
She's trying to figure out, because it's all just like names on a sheet that he gave her, or like that he read to her and she wrote down. And she's trying to use I'm assuming there's some kind of like inventory like panel, but she's nervous because she doesn't want to get it wrong.
Cool. Yeah, so Torn kind of sees her in there, and he's just like, he notices that she's kind of focused. Mm-hmm. Was that day 2 morning though?
In his work bag.
Like his Grizz there.
No, yeah, he's hiding.
So he's not on the ship?
Hiding where?
No, he's back in his spot on the ship.
Oh, okay. So he does see this. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you probably saw her gun there. And maybe in a way, because he's hiding, he has like hyper focus, and like we just don't notice him. Okay, so yeah, Torn sees Karina kind of like looking at the weapons and with the inventory. He's just like, Karina, what do you got going on?
Hey, Torn, I was actually meaning to come get you. We got a special mission from, I guess you would call him Mr. Nero, from Mr. Nero, and I need your help on it because I don't think I can pull it off by myself.
And Torn just kind of like nods, and he's like, you kids never cease to surprise me. What are you looking for?
So she'll kind of look around and kind of realizing that like maybe Ivyov is around and she doesn't know how much Ivyov is doing, and God knows where Grizz is. She's gonna like pull the container door shut, like they're inside.
Torn is a little surprised by this, and he just kind of like lowers his voice and he's like, "What do you need to tell me?"
And so she's just gonna play the message from Nero for him, and I'm assuming it's like a holographic, like little guy that pops up out of her. Well, they're not using slivers, but her like iPad or whatever she has. Yeah, so he's real nice. But that's basically it.
I mean, Torn knows who this guy is. Yeah, and Torn just kind of looks. He's just like, same shit, different ship. Okay, let's find this. And he kind of like motions himself to the back to try and figure it out. X21C, and see if he can't find this box. But because he knows what's in the cargo crate, but maybe there's something cool about this box that it's actually a false wall, and it's like the whole back of the cargo container. Cool. So
Yeah,
Torn,
so also she was not going to find that.
yeah, so Torn kind of walks to the back and he's like, I mean, I knew this container was always bigger inside bigger on the outside than the scope was inside. Let's try this. And he just kind of like maneuvers his hand along the edges of this wall. And then he's like, this is it. And he presses a button and depresses it. And then as he does that, the wall slides open to reveal this crate, which is actually isolated from everything else. And then he just kind of looks at Karina and he's like, I think this is what you were looking for. Wow, you guys operate on some level of secrecy.
Well, you know, there's a lot at stake.
Do we know what's in this?
Do
we
well, I
want
was
to know?
assuming that he might give her like a list, because if they're doing, I don't know if they're doing 3 drops or just 1 drop to one location. So just 1 drop. Then she wouldn't really need to know exactly what's inside of it.
Okay. So Torn kind of like takes a look at the crate and he's like taking stock of how heavy it is, taking stock of how mobile it is. And he just kind of like looks at Karina and he's like, all right, where does it need to go?
And she will bring up the coordinates And she'll say, I'm happy to accompany you to the ground and be support, but I don't think I should be seen anywhere near any of this stuff. How do you feel about doing the drops? And she'll like kind of smile at him.
And he just kind of like looks back at her with like a chuckle, and he's like, how far is it away?
Well, the space station isn't huge, right? It's like closed all the pictures. Oh.
And the station is being the box is being delivered within the station or outside? Okay. All right.
Yeah, like no one can, you'd said no one can go on it without dying.
All right, cool. So Torn kind of like looks at her and he's like, this shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put the ship in lockdown until I get back, but I think everyone's okay with that, right?
I think so.
And then so Torn kind of like realizes that the back false wall has a second false wall that lets the door out the other way, so he doesn't have to go through the rest of the crates. And he just kind of pushes it outside, and he like looks around, and this is probably where Grizz catches them. Oh no! So the storage container, it's like a shipping crate, right? Like a shipping container, like the kind we use today. So he just goes out the other side. Yeah, the crate does. Or I mean, I don't know. It hovers. I don't know. But it's very mobile. It's like even if it's got heft to it, it's big, but it's mobile. Well, I think once he pulls it out, let's see what Grizz does. So he like rolls it down this little ramp, and he gets it to the cargo hold, and then he seals the shipping container the opposite side again, and then he just kind of like takes stock of where the coordinates are, and then he looks at the exit point.
He kind of sits up for a second and he goes, what the hell are you doing?
And then Torn kind of looks at Grizz. He's just like, I don't know. I felt like getting into some trouble. What do you got going on? You care to join?
Absolutely nothing. I was about to ask if you needed some company.
I would like that very much. And then Torn gives this like charming, devilish smile. Yeah, I'm ready to go now if you are.
Yeah, let's do this.
And then he doesn't tell Grizz at all what he's doing. He just kind of like goes towards the edge of the row, and he like finds his way off the ship. And as soon as he leaves the ship, it goes into like a default lockdown. But it people get in and out of it, but it can't lift.
Is that normal?
And then Torn kind of looks around. And he's like, "Well, I mean, would you want the captain of the ship?" No, he is that normal? Yeah, it's protocol. It's standard for the captain to leave the ship and for it to not be accessible by parties. Granted, it's usually not available on lower tier cargo ships, but as you can see, we came replete with excellent technology. Wow, these guys look awesome. Great job.
So Coco and Lex their names got switched, but yes, very cool. Because Lex was the woman and Coco was the man. That's it.
Got some Jeff Bridges shit going on there.
He looks sick though. He looks like Keanu Reeves, and Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. Keanu Bridges. Cool. So we head to this location, and on the way, does anything happen, Drew? Yeah, I think Torn is in mission mode, so he's not really trying to focus on too much things. He's kind of looking for threats, and that's it. The veneer things doesn't matter to him because he's not in relaxation mode.
Grizz just feels kind of disappointed. He sees automotive shops, like fancy cars, like what you're describing, everybody going about their daily lives, and it's like they're just super comfortable, and it just bugs the shit out of him. Because he remembers what that was like. It was never that easy for him after a certain point, but he does remember what it used to be like. He misses his family, and he knows he can never go back to them.
Does Karina have any insights on that?
I kind of like that.
Roller skating ring. I feel like it needs to be like they're not rolling up to like a house. Like it's got to be somewhere that looks like they would get shipments. Yeah. So it's probably like it's like Americana style. And I'm not going to say laundry because, but I wonder if it's like a, I got rollerblades in my head. It's like an outlet store that sells like kids recreational items that they would use, like, because there's like real parks and stuff on this space station, and so they're obviously trying to simulate like life on a planet. So it would be like life jackets for ponds and like little like moon boot shoes, like that kind of shit, like a Toys R Us but for kids, like clothes instead of toys.
So yeah, like Torn kind of rolls up to this place and he's just like checking the coordinates and he's like, what? And he kind of like looks around and he's trying to look for a point of entry that makes sense for what they're trying to do. And he kind of like moves towards wherever that is.
You sure this is the spot, man?
Honestly, I don't think Karina gets things wrong, but I mean, what better place to, and then he actually kind of like lowers his voice and he goes, let's just get this done.
And there will be like a loading dock or something around the side.
So he'll aim for that.
So the shopping mall complex is called We Have Stuff. The store is called kids store name. We're gonna call the kids store Reggie's Place.
So Torn kind of approaches that and he's like looking around as he sees it to try and see if there's a safe hidden place to drop this stuff off. And he's also curious if there's anyone watching him.
Is that our guy?
And then Torn actually didn't notice him, so he's impressed that Grizz's eyes were as attuned as they are. And he just kind of like stops with the crate and then waits to see if the guy continues to approach them. And Torn just goes, yeah, this is definitely the guy. And he kind of looks around because he's actually not sure who Karina's been dealing with. And he goes, yeah, you've been looking for a shipment with no name. Torn like smugly looks back at him. And he's just like, you do well, don't you? Yeah. So if you were expecting this, were you expecting this?
That was so good. I'm sorry. He was like, if you were expecting this, were you?
So this is the three people that Karina was talking to, right? Oh, okay. And it's also not considered a crate. I mean, shouldn't they be expecting it after Karina, or isn't that the whole deal?
Yeah, there wasn't like, yeah, there was no communications because it's too risky to like. Yeah, it's just too risky. So it was supposed to be like on the DL, which I think because that was in the message, so Torn would know that like it's been a long time since they've received anything.
Okay, cool. So Torn kind of uses that and he goes, yeah, I know you haven't seen anything in a long time, but hopefully this will make up for it. And he kind of like pushes the crate forward and he puts in what is probably a default code to open it. Yeah, and Torn actually blushes when he realizes how exposed it all is, and he like jumps over it to slam the door closed. He's like, "Well, now I hope these belong to you because I probably just committed a war crime if it doesn't."
Smooth, man. Smooth. He kind of. Can we have a sidebar where the old people can't hear us? Are you serious? You just dragged me along to deliver a bunch of fucking weapons? Are you
and Torn kind of looks at Grizz and he's like, I mean, I couldn't have known what was in there. That's not on the manifest. And
bullshit.
This is Karina's mission, so you'll have to take that up with her. But
the kid.
Yeah, that kid's smarter than anyone you know, Grizz. including
She's in charge of you, is what you're telling me.
She's not quite. They are in my charge, but she is the leader.
Oh my God! You just let a child command us to deliver weapons to a bunch of elderly people, and God knows what the hell they're gonna do with it.
Grizz. That child helped us get off your colony.
I helped you get off of our colony. Don't forget that for one fucking second. You guys
we get to you,
still
buddy.
be there if it wasn't for me.
I understand, but Grizz, at the end of the day, do you want to be on the side of something that's contributing to the universe or something that's taking it away? And right now, we are on the side of contribution.
How you know that?
Well, I mean, you do have to have some blind faith. And he's kind of like taking Grizz aside because he realizes all the old people are looking at him. He's like, are we done here? Talking to the separatists. Hmm. You know who you talked to earlier. You don't need to ask any questions beyond that. Just know that
They didn't talk to anyone.
they talked to you.
No.
They didn't talk to
No,
you?
we couldn't risk communicating.
Wait, so we literally just dropped this off to people that we didn't talk to? How did that?
That's why they were suspicious, which I guess I don't know.
Well,
I thought it was.
if that's the case, and I don't know about that, or I do know about that, then he just goes, I mean, this is all the info I have. That crate.
I guess I thought it was implied in the message, but I guess
just
not.
sort of leans in and he's like, I think we should get the fuck out of here.
Knowing what I know now, Grizz, I agree with you. And then Torn just kind of like walks with his back towards the door, like, and he just kind of like waves at them like a passive, like, bye. I mean, don't the guns have? I mean, they're gonna have a signature. So if they were getting stuff from Utah, then they're gonna know they're Utah weapons.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the miscommunication on that one.
Oh my God.
A new wrinkle is formed.
Oh, we just fucked up so bad.
No, it was intentional. Right, and can you pull the star map up so I can see where this planet is?
That's so funny. I'm like, we should go.
Oh shit, that's like right next to Bacchus, which is the black market planet. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that's the right place for a skirmish.
Oh goodness.
Space AK-47s, love it.
I'm sorry, Steve. I
just
didn't
missed that because
communicate
as you were
properly.
describing it, I thought you were having a conversation, but that's all. Like that's just me spacing out. Don't worry.
Okay.
So Karina actually kind of just did a recon mission. She didn't actually she did a recon mission, identified what the target was, but then wait, how did you get the coordinates then?
Your Callum sent it.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
Rusibi is the closest planet to Bacchus. We just gave them guns, and they're right next to the black market too. Setting shit up. Oh yeah, it is. That guy that bothered me can fucking go suck it. Whoever Morgan was playing as. The slug, that's right.
Yeah, I kind of want to be able to like do like a whole thing with that.
I think so too, yeah. If that's okay. Sweet.
I'm sorry, I thought that was funny as fuck. I think we should go.
A little half wave while he's not even giving them the courtesy of like looking at them. We sell stuff. Or we have stuff. We sell stuff.
Ooh, everybody better show up for Bacchus.
One would hope.
Right.